Do you need a podcast trailer? Well, I'm going to explain today what the point of a podcast trailer is, and then you can decide whether it's for you. Hello, I'm Olivia de Sousa. I'm a multi-passionate entrepreneur. I'm a content and podcast expert. I support visionary entrepreneurs and leaders passionate about living with purpose. Join me as we explore podcasting, life, business, and authenticity. Subscribe for meaningful conversations with a business buddy who gets what it's like. Welcome to Magnetic Pod.
I'm stepping in the next level me. I'm here to be everything I can be.
So, I personally do recommend podcast trailers, and I'm going to explain why. But in the end, my overriding belief with everything, and when I work with my clients, it's to support them in what they want to do. So I am a sounding board. I will give feedback. I will give my opinions, but I'll say why. But I absolutely also, on top of all of that, believe that you need to be guided by what's your inner compass, your intuition, what feels right for you, and go for it 100%. If you go for it 100% in whatever you do, that will work. But here is why podcast trailers are a good idea. So what is the point of them and what are they? So there's a couple of different ways you could do a podcast trailer. They're supposed to be short. So someone recently asked me in an email asking a few questions about podcasts, and they said, is the for your first episode, is that your podcast trailer? No, it isn't. Your podcast trailer is a teaser. It's telling people what your podcast is about, but it also serves another technical, what's the word I'm looking for? It serves another purpose, which is just by having a thing, even if it was a blank piece of audio that said that it's had no value, it would serve a purpose in this regard. It gives you a thing that you can publish that gets it picked up on all the podcasts. So one of the first things when you launch a podcast is to get it onto Apple and Spotify and Stitcher and all of the major platforms. And the way you do that is by having a host. I personally like to use Buzzsprout, but there's lots of good ones around. Libsyn, Spotify for podcasters, Omni, whichever. So if you pick one, go with it. And by doing that, you'll be able to upload your artwork, have a podcast description, and from there create an RSS. But to be able to create the RSS feed, to be able to create, trying to think in the process where the RSS feed comes in, before or after the audio. Can't think at the moment. Doesn't matter. But the point is you cannot send it anywhere without a thing to be picked up, without a bit of audio. So just having audio is the thing that enables you to send it off and submit it to Apple and Spotify and Stitcher and the rest of them. You can't do that unless you've got an audio thing there. So, but why wouldn't you just do that with the first episode, I hear you ask? Well, you can if you want to. It's a long game, and so you can just do that and think long term with your podcast. But the benefit of doing a trailer at the beginning, if you want to give your podcast a push, is that it enables you to know for sure when the podcast is actually picked up by the platforms. So if you want to have a podcast launch and say, hey, everybody, my first episode drops on, the 1st of March, make sure you give it a listen and subscribe and do all the things. What if it doesn't get picked up? What if you publish it and it takes a couple of weeks until it gets picked up by the platform? If you use a trailer, then you can watch and see and make sure. Generally, they're pretty quick now, to be honest. It used to take a couple of weeks, but now I generally find it's within a day. But if you just want to remove any doubt and make sure nothing falls over and there's no technical hitches, then by using a trailer, it gives you a piece of audio that will allow your podcast to be picked up by all the podcast platforms that you care about. And then so when you go to launch your episodes, you can know with confidence that they will actually publish on the day you schedule them. So that's the technical purpose of having a trailer. So apart from that, The trailer itself you can use to drum up interest in your podcast. There's two styles that I generally do. Most of my clients just go for the basic, where it's basically the same thing that you say in your intro. You can use that as your podcast trailer, because in your intro you're generally saying who you are, what the name of the podcast is, what the purpose of the podcast is, and a bit of a call to action of, subscribe and tune in or whatever. That kind of thing that you say is also can be used just as the trailer itself. So you can just use that, and that's the simplest, easiest, and cheapest way to go. The other way you can use your trailer is to do a bit of use clips from your first episodes. So I'll put a link in below of a couple of examples, because there's one that I've done recently for a podcast that is coming soon, which is called Don't Be Caught Dead. And there's already, I think, about 8 episodes already in the can. And so from the time when I was doing the trailer, I had 4 episodes. So the trailer that I've put together has snippets from the 4 episodes. That is actually quite a lot more work to put together, even though it's still around just a few minutes long, because of the fact that you've got to actually listen to the upcoming episodes and then thoughtfully put it together in a way that makes sense. It actually took a surprisingly long amount of time in terms of thinking of things and like what order to put the quotes on, the quotes grabs. If I did it in a different order, it would have given a different meaning, because so I had to be quite thoughtful on how to put it together and to make it all make sense seamlessly and to create interest. So that's another way if you want people to know, oh, that's interesting. That interview sounds interesting. Oh, that sounds interesting too. Oh, you want them to hear the actual content itself, then you can use it as an ad. So that's what the trailer does. That being said, if you just want to publish episode number 1 and just hit publish and you're not too fussed about knowing exact timings and you're just like, I don't care about having a big launch at the beginning, but I'm just going to just knock the microphone. Hope that didn't make a big noise. Okay, I don't care about having a big launch at the beginning, but I'm just going to be consistent and keep pushing it out over time and keep promoting it over time. Then you can do it that way, and that's totally valid too. But the reason for having a trailer is to be able to control how your launch goes. So that's it. If you've got any questions, let me know. Send me an email, livy@livymusic.com. That's LIVVI, or you can send me a message at Livy Music Media via Instagram. Or if you're listening on YouTube, just put it in the comments and let me know if there's anything else you'll want to know, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
I'm stepping in the next level me. I'm here to be everything I can be. Like a snake, I'm shedding my skin to be my wild next level me. I'm stepping in the next level me. I'm here to be everything I can be. Give you whiplash when you turn around and see me go again. Next level me. It's time to be.
Hello, it's Livy here. Have you ever wondered about what the key elements are that make a podcast truly stand out? Or maybe you're thinking about starting your own special podcast and feel a bit overwhelmed and don't know where to start? Well, I have something for you. Introducing the Ultimate Podcast Checklist. Da, 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 da. It's a step-by-step guide that covers everything from the initial brainstorming to advanced growth strategies. It's the perfect companion for both new and seasoned podcasters. And the best part, it's absolutely free. Da, 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 da. To grab your copy, simply head to the show notes of this episode and you will find a direct link there, and then away you go. Remember, every podcast started with that initial spark and the right resource. So let the Ultimate Podcasting Checklist be yours.